All right, good morning. I gotta turn my phone on. There. All right. All right. I told you guys I will, from now on, we will explain my thumbnails that I use. Well, you know what the thumbnail on this one is? And if you guys don't know that woman, you should become acquainted with her music. Better yet, you should become acquainted with her guitar playing because she's not bad. Not bad at all. Now, you look at the age on that woman. How old is she? Well, she's older than me by a few years. That is Lita Ford, who was one of the other band members in a all-girl band called the Runaways back in the day. One of the other famous people that was in that band that you may know was a lady called Joan Jett. Both have had very good commercial success. I consider Joan Jett she's more of my 80s hair band style. And Lita Ford's more of my Ozzy Osbourne heavier metal type, I guess. But Lita with her own band is pretty goddamn good. And I've seen Lita 2 or 3 times now. I don't know. You can tell age is catches up with all of us. She's got a few extra wrinkles. Hair is starting to get gray that she doesn't. She got a young boyfriend, though. Or husband, whichever. I don't know. Anyway, she looks good yet. She looks very good. All right. This was always have to explain my thumbnails. This is my knives, homemade knives, part deux. Those the other ones were the ones I collected so far. I only had one in there, or two in that much that I made. One was the first knife that I ever made, and then the second one was that kind of machete camp knife I made for my stepdad on that commercial hacksaw blade. Here's one I got made for my wife. It's a kitchen knife. It's kind of a pizza cutter. It's that big a knife. Here's my arm. Does that tell you how big it is? From wrist, from middle of my palm to a couple inches up on my muscle up there. So that's a fairly good sized knife. Anyway, I don't make knives with a whole bunch of fancy stuff. I got wood. I got brass. That's what I got. All right, that's one of them right there. And and I like to make kitchen knives a lot. I made two paring knives for my wife. They stay here in the house. They're up on the shelf right by the sink, so we use them a lot. This one's a short handle paring knife. Yep, you son of a bitch. Move the toes quick. Short handle. You can see that in my hand. This, there, maybe I can do it with my left hand. That's how short that handle is. But it's very handy if you're cutting like this, if you're holding it like that. If you're squeezing it between. I should have not made the sharp edge all the way up to here, though. Okay, anyway, that's one of them. Here's the other one. And this is more my style. I like a little bit more belly. Excuse me. Up there on my blade, like this one. See what I mean? The belly is different. You see? I don't know. Maybe you guys can't tell the difference. I can tell the difference. All right. This one's got a little file work down here. Longer handle by a long shot. Longer handle by a long shot. Oh, by the way, this is a purple heart. Piece of purple heart. And this is a piece of oak, I think, or walnut. Walnut. Anyway, I like longer handles. You see how that fits in your hand better? All the way to the other edge of your hand. But the thing is, building knives and handles is that everybody's got a different size of hand. Everybody likes a different size of a handle or a different style of a knife. So when you're building knives, you never know. I like these, so I build quite a few of them like that. Kitchen knives. You can see, did a little bit more work here. We cut down the front of the handle a little bit. I think we got 3 pins in this one. Probably should have had 4 pins, but just space these out a little bit further. Had 4 pins, but that knife not coming apart. And that one is up here with that other paring knife. That one stays in the kitchen. All right, let's go to here. I made one. This is just a piece of crap. I had a little piece of steel left over, so I put it in a handle. I put a handle on it. That's a shitty piece of wood I had laying around. So I pinned it. I glued it. I filled it in. I call this my letter opener. That's what this is. Yeah, it's just a letter opener. I mean, you could use it as a knife, but that's my letter opener or package opener there. Just utilitarian. That was just playing around with a piece of leftover steel. And so was this one, but this one actually turned into a pretty good knife. That's a little guy there. You look at how small this knife is. That's a little guy. And that's got a lot of belly up there toward the front. I like that a lot. That's another one that also stays in here. And we did a little bit more file work down here. See? A little bit more file work down there. It just depends on what I feel like at the time. All right, when it comes to kitchen knives, I have all kinds of them, man. Here's another paring knife, pretty much. Only it's not a paring knife. Paring knife is only about that big, maybe 4 inches. This one's got a couple more inches. This one is more like this one. Handle's bigger on this one, smaller on this one. Belly's the same up here. Blade style is the same. What I'm trying to say. These two I probably made about the same time. I don't know. We'll see if you guys, if I get anybody up in chat. I don't know if Kane will be up. He kind of likes the knives, but and I'll have some coffee here and we'll just go over a few of my basic kitchen knives. Here's a strange one I made. I don't know why I built this one. I really don't know why I built this one. It's more of a fillet knife than it is anything. Really flexible blade. Why it's thicker down here than it is up here or wider, I have no clue why I made it like that. I just did. I know it works really well on fish. I think it's because we were cleaning northerns at the time or big bass, and the rib bones to separate them from the backbone sometimes takes a little bit of sawing. I think that's why I made this thicker here and thinner up there for working around uh, fins and vents and gills and stuff. I don't know. That's a fish knife though, and that's also I use a lot of walnut because I got a lot of walnut. I got a couple pieces of Purple Heart left, but Purple Heart's a really dark wood. I got a couple of them coming up here with Purple Heart on. I'll show you. Hi, Scratch and Go Crazy. How the hell are you? We're just going over some of my homemade knives. I want to take it kind of slow until Kane Friday showed up because he likes knives. Daryl likes knives for some reason. So, and they did a lot of commenting on my previous video I had of the knives that I collected after I got that one for Shiny Man. I got another one I'm going to buy from him yet. I think SGT's got it, but anyway, I didn't. Nobody's up in the morning. I got up late this morning. Okay, guys, I got up late. I admit it. I will not. I'm going to make that announcement now. I'm not going to be up on Brad V's open panel tonight. I would like to be, but I'm not going to be. Why? You guys might not know it. I like my music. I like my music a lot. I like 60s, 70s music. I like my 80s hair and like my 80s hair bands. In the 90s, not so much. There were some in the thousands. Metallica, Metalhead, some decent bands. The 90s was mostly whiny cry, oh poor me, so woe is me music, and I hated all of that. The metal I liked, especially Metallica, Motorhead, some good bands. But tonight, and I live 45 minutes, an hour away from the legendary Surf Ballroom and Museum, which is the last place Buddy Holly played before he died. His plane crashed just outside of town, Clear Lake, Iowa, Mason City, Iowa, on the just south of the runway there in a bad snowstorm. Waylon Jennings supposed to be on that plane. Big Bopper was on that plane. And the Surf Ballroom and Museum is a museum to Buddy Holly. And they host a lot of 50s dance shows, a lot of 50s bands. I've gone to see a few. I like the other concerts they have there. Tonight, I am going to see. I was supposed to be up on stage one time already, not too long ago. But I had to go to a concert. It was Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees, the last surviving monkey. And he canceled. He was sick, so that one's coming up in September. So this is the next one I'm going to. This is the Kentucky Headhunters. I don't know if any of you guys know the Kentucky Headhunters. Good band, Southern rock band. Throw some rock bluegrass in there. I got to get a sip of coffee here. I haven't had any coffee this morning. So that's my excuse. I stayed in bed late, slept in late, because I will be at the Kentucky Headhunters concert tonight. Doors open at 8. I want to be there by 6, in line at 6 o'clock. I like to be up front at the stage as close as I can get so I can lean on the security fence because I can't stand up that long anymore without some support. And we will have a good time. But I think I'm going to have to be in line at least 2 hours before the door is open. Otherwise, I won't get a front row spot. So, that's what I do. I take my Pepsi or Gatorade or whatever, sit down in front of the door, take a book, put it in my pocket, take my phone if we're streaming. Yeah, I'll be on my phone. Yeah, if nobody else is going to come in, we'll continue with the knives. All right. Kitchen knives. Got a lot of them here. Let's go to this one next. Here's a thinner one. This one's also a nice wood handle. Got a nice dark streak through it. This one is a fillet knife, a really flexible blade. And these are made out of chainsaw bars. I split the bar in half and use one side or the other as the blade. Pretty good steel. Steel chainsaw bars are pretty good, man. And this handle is just the right size for a fillet knife handle. Goes all the way through my hand, and it's fat enough. So when your hands are goopy with fish guts and water and slime, you're not going to lose traction on this one. Maybe could have made it a little bit longer, another ½ inch, but this is not bad. And it really does. And I didn't put any file marks down here. A lot of times I like to, on knives, put that file mark in there and not sharpen this in case your finger slips up there. But on fillet knives, I don't do that because you're going to be cutting through bones down there. You're going to be cutting through rib bones. So that's a decent knife. I suppose I should wipe off the steel. And then let's go to another one. All right, let's go to this one. I tried, this is a heavier steel. It's more of a camp chopper, but not thick like a camp chopper. So we did a little file work down here. We did a little file work up here, and that's for your thumb right there. That's to rest your thumb on so you don't lose traction. I like how this blade goes. I like the shape of it. I just wish it was a little thicker, that's all. But for a do everything knife, this one's not bad for a do everything. And that blade's pretty good length too, if you look at it. That's from my wrist up to my muscle, past my elbow. See where my elbow bends right there at the scar is? So it's, what is that, a 12-inch blade? It's a 12-inch blade, 14-inch overall knife. And it's hefty, man. It's hefty. So that's a good blade. I like that a lot. And you got something to purchase. If I had done anything different on this one, I'd have made a finger groove down here for your front finger, or I'd have put a finger guard in it, one or the other. And then let's go, what do we got for other kitchen knives here? We got one over here. A little bit smaller knife. This one a little bit different blade design. More belly. There's more belly right here. You see? It stays about the same width all the way up to here, and then very gradually goes to a real sharp tip. It's not bad for a butcher knife, a boning knife, and it's not bad for a fillet knife because this is a pretty flexible knife too, or a kitchen knife. Could use this for a paring knife. I wouldn't use this to cut vegetables with, but to prepare meat, yeah, that works good for that. Let's just say a meat cutter, and that's walnut on there too. That one does have 4 brass pins. I get my brass pins or welding pins, welding rod from the hardware store, bronze brass that I use for pins. Let's go with another one here. Here's one that I put the file work into right there. This is a long handle knife, thinner though. Uh, the belly stays more consistent all the way out toward the tip, toward the upsweep. Again, that's about a 8 to 9, 10-inch blade and long handle. See the long, I like long handles. I like the Japanese style long handle. I prefer that. If I'd have done anything different on this knife, I'd have probably done a little bit more work here. But that's about it for that knife. I really wouldn't have done too much different on this knife. I think I could redo the handle, but I'm not going to. That's not a bad knife there. Another kitchen knife I have is this one. Again, the long handle. See the long handle, walnut, brass pins. I only pinned this one twice through there, but I glued it really well. I don't use any liners. I could, but I haven't. This one doesn't have, well, very little file work right up here, but it does have some. Also, a thinner blade. This more of a kitchen chop up your vegetables kind of knife here, and then cut your pot roast. But I guess I kind of like this blade style about the best of them all. This one or that blade style. I really like that blade. I really like this blade. It's thicker. I like that blade. Not so much a kitchen knife though. This is more of a kitchen knife. I like that a lot. Yeah, so we'll just put that down there and running out of room. How about this one for a kitchen knife? Nice long handle again, Japanese style long handle, tapers. The blade is going to be, oh geez, that's a good 8 to 10-inch long blade. So the knife is, again, about that long from my wrist, from my hand, all the way up past my elbow. So it's a nice knife, man. It's just a nice knife. Pretty flexible blade. Not real flexible, not like a fillet knife. But this is one you would use in the kitchen to cut your veggies with. I like it. I like that one a lot. Let's get those kitchen blades back down in here. That's a fillet knife there. Fillet knife. See, I like, here, how you like those two right there? Those two are just kind of, all right. Let's go over to some of my more serious knives here. How about this one? You guys like this one? What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna reshape this tang, make it a little bit more pointy. But you see what I did here? I made an integral finger guard. I did my file work there. I put a serrated thumb rest up there. So when you're holding it in your hand, that's what you got right there. You're not going to slip up on this knife. This is a camp knife. That's what this is. I mean, you could use it to kill people. You could use it to skin with. You could use it to gut with. But this is a camp knife, basically, just because of the belly on this thing. But I like that. That's a nice knife. I like that one a lot. And then we got another one here. This Purple Heart. That other one was walnut. Here's Purple Heart. Dark, dark wood. And you see what happened right there? It looks like there's a space, but it's not. I got that filled in with a two-part countertop adhesive. Not adhesive. What do they call it? It's filled in anyway. Same down there. It looks like it's got a gap, but it doesn't really. But I made it undercut, so when you hold on to it, you got a finger and a half in there. So your forefinger and half of your middle finger fits in there. And it's got a finger guard to keep it from slipping up. That's a nice little, just a little bit more tweaking on that design. It could be a fighting knife, but it's not right now. More of a boning knife. Boning knife doesn't have to have all of the finger guard features and thumb rests on it and undercut handles and all that stuff. It really doesn't have to have that. This one's nice and thick handle. So my brother Phil has got great big fucking hands, and he likes a knife with a big thick handle so he got something to grip. That's the way he likes his knife. So uh, I'll make them that way sometimes just to satisfy his appetite. And then I got one other one. We did a little bit different job on it. I tried to make a more of a fighting knife, but I made it too thin right here. And that's a thick blade. I don't think it's going to break there, but it could. And then I put a brass finger thumb guard up here, brass pins. I did a little bit different design on the handle, so it's a little thinner. So I can get that whole thing in my hand like that. Put a liner and a brass cap up here. I didn't put any liners here, but I did fill that in. And so you can tell it's a full tank because you got pins through there and it's got a butt cap on, but I wasn't real happy with this one. I like the thickness of it. I like the handle construction and everything. I just didn't like how thin it got right there. So how the width was just too small. But it's a good blade. You could kill somebody with that. And then what's my other one? I got a coon's eye. Anybody know what a coon's eye is? Oop, there we go. There is a coon's eye. Right here, that's a coon's eye knife. I wrapped this handle in paracord. This knife is really thick. Thick. And look at how we did the file work here, a file work here. That's a hog skinner there. You can skin a moose with that bitch. I like this knife. It ain't gonna slip out of your hand at all anytime soon. But you think you can sell a knife like that? Not unless somebody ordered it. I've had this knife for 5, 6 years now. Most of these. All right. And then another one, I made an ulu out of a circular saw blade. This is a deer antler. You can tell. I fucked up here and I cut through and ground one of my rivets right there. Doesn't matter. It's glued in there. It's never coming out, but it looks like shit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cap on there of a bullhorn or something on both ends. See, that end was good. I didn't get close to that rivet, but what it did do, if you look close enough right here, is it cracked the antler. But again, like I say, it's 2-part epoxied on there, so it's not coming out. The only problem is it just looks like shit. Otherwise, it's a really good knife. It that will skin a hog, it will skin a beaver, it will skin a walrus or a seal, because those bodies are all the same. They're all nice round bodies, and that's what you use an ulu for. But you can use them in the kitchen to cut up vegetables too if you wanted to. I have to make some more of these. I just have to do different designs. This one was a practice one. It was pretty good. I liked it. And then I did a double bit Viking axe. That one's hanging in the studio of a YouTuber called let's see, the YouTube name is Redonkulous, REDONKULIS, redonkulous.com. If it's wrong and it's ridiculous, it's redonkulous. It's hanging in his studio. The man's name is Terrence Pop. I served with him in the United States Army Reserve in the 12th Special Forces Group. I think I did one mission with him because he was in Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 12th Special Forces Group, and I was in B Company, 1st Battalion, 12th Special Forces Group. I was in Arlington Heights, Illinois, and he was up in Michigan. So when I went to Selfridge Air Force Base one time to do a mission, his team I did a mission with. So he has a double bit axe hanging in his studio. I'm making a single bit Viking axe. I got to cut this up just a little bit more right here. And if you know anything about single bit axe, regular axe, this side is a hammer. It's about that thick, about like that thick. I have heated and hammered this down to a point where I like that pretty well. I got to get this cut just a little bit better there. I've almost got the eyelet rounded out. If you know anything about a single bit axe, it's more of an oval, long oval shape. I've got this heated and beat out pretty well where I want it. And then I'll look for a handle to put on. But this axe head's coming along pretty nice. It's getting there. It's getting there. It'll get there. It'll get there. And then another one I did, just experimenting, fucking around, was a push knife. And I don't know the steel. I think that's a circular saw blade too. And you'd have to know what the steel looked like up here, but it had a really weird looking shape to it. So I put 3 pins right there, and that's right where your thumb should be. So that one's not breaking. And that's also deer antler. I can make some nicer ones, but push knives are an offensive knife, and it's just not made for utilitarian purposes. So I probably won't make any more of these, but I made one just to see if I could. And then my other ones. Remember I showed you in that other video on knives? I had trap spring knives, and there were there were two knives in that set, in that leather pouch. Well, I made one here. This is a walnut handle trap spring. You can tell by the hole here. What I did is I put finger and thumb groove there because the handles are really small to fit in your hand. So you have to have something for your finger and thumb to rest in so it won't slip. And that's a nice skinning knife, Bubba. I'm telling you, that's a nice skinning knife there. Then the next one I made was almost like that, but just a little bit longer. It's also walnut. It's just a different part of the blade. Or no, maybe this one's oak. That one's oak. This one's walnut. Yeah, there we go. So two different woods. And that one's just a little bit longer blade. Same style, but just a little bit longer. And then I found another trap spring from a different size trap. And I made this one. Now the handle's longer on this one, so I don't have any of the cutouts on the steel. I did a little file work here, a little file work there, but I made my cutout for my thumb and my finger right here on the wood. And this is walnut. So, and it's got 3 brass pins in it. Did some work here, cutting stuff down. It just depends on how much time I want to put into something. This is a nicer knife, I think, right here. That's a nicer knife, I think. And you can see how big this one is. That goes exactly from hand to elbow. Exactly. So that blade is a good 6 inches long, and the handle is 6 inches minus the hole up there. So that's a good 12-inch long knife. I like that. I like this whole set a lot, man. I don't know. You tell me if you guys like them. I'll put it like that so you can tell the difference. Oh, you think? You like them, don't you? Yeah, I like them too, a lot. Okay, we'll put my Ulu back up here. And I'll put my push knife back over here. Ah, you piece of shit. I'll put my push knife in there like that. And we'll put this coon's eye over there with that one. And then we got, I really like that one, but and my fillet knife. That's a really nice fillet knife. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That's just a nice fillet knife. That's just a nice fillet knife. I don't care what anybody says. You know, and I was selling these for $45 a piece. And you know how much time and effort I got into these things? Selling them for $45 is really, it hurts me to do it, but I did it anyway. I just redid the handle on this one. I got some better rivets to put in, and I didn't stain the handle at all. But that's just a pizza knife. So that's kitchen pizza knife. It really is not it really isn't one of the, and then I got my letter opener here, and I got my little paring knife, little guy, my little paring knife. Just set him up there like that. Those are my homemade knives, guys. Emerald Coal Stacker. Yeah, I made all these. I don't know how long it takes for people to notice that I got something or that I'm going live, and I just start doing it, and if people show up, people show up. I did make the announcement that I'm not going to be on Brad's open stream tonight, Brad V's open stream, because I have a concert to go to. I am going to go see the Kentucky Headhunters in concert. First time I get to see them guys. And I know they're from late 70s, early 80s. 80s. They're in the 80s, probably 70s, 80s. And it's just a Southern rock band. Got Southern blues. Might even be some bluegrass rock in there. Good band. I listened to them on an album when I was younger. So I will be going to see them boys tonight. Yeah, this is a kitchen knife. This is just a pizza cutter. That's all this is. Handle's nothing special. I like the shape of the handle better like this, so you got something your hand doesn't slip off. Your hand doesn't slip off when you pull. I'm not really sure you need that on a kitchen knife. On a fighting knife, yes, I can see that. But so yeah, I like that design on a handle. Doesn't necessarily need to be on a kitchen knife, though, in my opinion. But I don't know. You'll notice that most of these knives are pretty crude. I don't have millions of dollars worth of equipment to do knives with. What I have are two 1x20 grinders from Harbor Freight. I have one 4x20, no 1x10s, 1x12s from Harbor Freight, a 4x20 from Harbor Freight, a 4x20 from I don't know, Craftsman or something like that I got from my dad's estate. I have plenty of post vices. I have plenty of leg vices. If anybody wants to buy one, I have two of them that have had legs cut off. They need to be welded back on. And I don't have the originals, so but I got steel that'll work. And I have four other ones, just of different sizes. A 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, whatever, sitting out in the shed. Plus, I have one on my bench that I use. So, and that's a 6-inch, I think. And I have 1, 2, 3 hand-powered drill presses that you crank by hand. I have one electric drill press, floor drill press. I got I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different grinders with buffing wheels and wire brushes or brass wire brushes or abrasive wheels, or I have 2 Dunn wheels on one. Dunn is a knife maker. Was in Kansas, now is in Florida. I get some supplies from him, like Jeweler's Rouge and stuff like that. And he used to make sharpening wheels. And they'd sell them in a set, and you just bolt them or just put them on the grinder. And I got a set of his wheels. I have a 1-burner propane forge that I made out of a 20-pound LP tank. Made it myself. I have a coal forge, a forced air coal forge that I made myself out of an old hog feeder bottom and some angle iron I welded together, and a brake drum. Oh, military, I think it's a 5-ton brake drum. And that, I do have I had a manual press, for pressing out, hydraulic press to press out bearings, stuff like that. And it's too slow to use for metal. But my stepdad had made a hydraulic one that's fairly quick, up, down, and it's hydraulic. It's got its own tank, hydraulic tank and filter and all that stuff on. I got that one from his estate when they sold out. And I went to a knife maker, a local knife maker. He lived, I don't know, half hour away. Didn't know about the old guy until I started making knives. But at that time, he was selling out. He was getting old. And the anvils got bought by some Mennonite boys. And I bid against him. He had a 25-pound power hammer. And 25-pound is not big, but it's big enough for what I want to do. Actually, a good 50-pounder would probably be better. But I bought the power hammer, brought it home, and redid the drive on a little bit. It worked pretty good. Works pretty good for pounding out steel. It saves on your arm. A lot of hammering you don't have to do because of power hammer. And I got an old cheap Harbor Freight anvil. I made an anvil out of a railroad track. I have that one and that one. I have another one somebody made, but it's for doing narrow stuff on like trap springs and stuff like that. So I got that anvil too, and I mounted them all on stumps, so they're up about waist high where I can pound on them decent. But I got quite a selection of hammers, but I don't know. I don't have as much equipment as I'd like. All of my tongs, different shape and style of tongs, I've made myself. I don't have a lot of equipment, so I look at the knife manufacturer, Shiny Man. I bought that knife at WWP auction. And beautiful knife. Well, great workmanship, great materials. And Shiny sent me a video of this guy making knives. He's doing an $18,000 custom made knife. And he's got like 250 hours into making that knife. That's not materials or anything else. But I looked at this guy's shop, and I noticed there's one other guy working in there, an older gentleman. And this guy has multi-million dollars worth of equipment. Multi-million dollars worth of equipment. I can't compete with something like that. I can't. I can make a knife. I can make it functional. I can make it strong and sharp. But I can't make pretty stuff like that. Yeah. And he does oh yeah, he mixed two steels together. What was it, 1095 and 5160 or something like that? But 1095 was his base, and then he used something a little softer. And I bought that knife, and then Shiny sent me that video, and oh my God, that guy's got just millions of dollars worth of equipment in that shop. Nice shop. And I noticed that about all the commercial knife makers are all millions of dollars worth of stuff, equipment in their shop. I think I could make a really nice looking knife too if I had that kind of equipment. But at my age, I'm not spending the money, and I'll just make do with what I have. A lot of guys will buy like Bonehead's knives. He buys blades already made, and then he buys the parts for the handle, and he puts his own deer antler handles on, and with the other parts, liners and all that stuff that you can buy, and then he sells them as his. Well, yeah, he made the knife. He put it all together. He made the handle material, but he didn't make the knife. He didn't make the steel. That came from somebody else. He buys them. And I find a lot of custom knife makers will do that. I have a catalog in here from Jance. See if I can find it. I don't know if it's in here. Yeah, here it is right here. There you go. Here's my Jance catalog. JanceKnifeMaking.com. You can buy all the steels, all the blades, all the handles, material, liner material, rivets, all that stuff. You can buy anvils. You can buy all that stuff. Put your own knife together and call it yours. Yeah, I could do that too. I'm not going to. I get some of my rivets from him. What else do I get from him? I got to order an anvil. End cap, pommel caps. I don't have any spacers or liners yet. Guards I make myself. I could get guards if I wanted to. Handles, handle material, leather, leather making materials, books, all the tools, files, taps, all the machinery you want if you want to buy it. You can do all that stuff. I mean, you can buy all that stuff, then make a knife, put it together, sell it as yours, but then that knife is going to cost you $150, $200, $250, $300 because you had to buy all that stuff and then put it together, and then you got a little time in it too. So, you know, a knife like this, you sell for 45 fucking dollars. It's walnut, it's good steel, good flexibility. It'll hold an edge. It's sharp as shit. Doesn't look as pretty as some of those knives, but it's functional. I like the walnut handle myself. What I'm going to start doing, I think, is I'm going to start putting spacers in here, liners, just to take up some of that space if I don't get the wood completely flat. So I'll do that. I mean, I fill in that gap. That gap is all filled in with two-part epoxy, but it looks like there's a gap. So, but I sell a knife like this for 45 bucks. This wood I cut down in the woods and I put on my bandsaw and cut it, when it's dry. And you got some stain you put on, I get at the local hardware store. The rivets I get at the local hardware store. The steel I source from different places around here. Up at the recycle yard, I get a lot of leaf spring and coil spring up there. Lawnmower blades from the guy that does lawnmowers over. He fixes lawnmowers and chainsaws. My chainsaw bars from over there. So I got a lot of local stuff in these knives. That axe head over there, that was just one of the many axes. One of the many axes that I used to have. I've got a pile of them from logging when I was a logger. Yes, I was. I used to log. So I don't know. Anybody wants to fucking do anything here? What are we going on? We're going on an hour of me fucking bullshit in here. 12 o'clock, the mail's here. I should go out and get the mail. I want to leave the house by, let's see, doors open at 8. I want to leave the house by 4 because it takes me an hour to get over there. I'll be there at 5. Give me time to fuck around a little bit. Go to the bar, get some French fries, fill my gut. Don't drink anymore, so go to the bar, have some food, have a Sprite or a Diet Pepsi, and take my book and my phone and go sit by the door and wait in line. Yeah, if you guys want to see one of the actions I've done, check out redonkulous.com sometime when he does his live from the lair episodes and he's full screen and doesn't have 3 or 4 people up. You'll notice on one side of him, on his left side, be your right, looking at him, there's a dog tag shaped board. It's got the 500 and some people whose lives he saved just by talking. It started out as a soldier suicide prevention. It has morphed into suicide prevention in general, with an emphasis on soldier suicide. And then as he started to get more and more into depth and him going through his divorce and his experience with family court and lawyers and how they fucked him over, then he started to become a red pill, MGTOW, men's rights activist. So there's a lot going on there. Okay, over on the right, it's got, on your right, his left, you got that big dog tag plaque with all the guys' names that he prevented their suicides. He's got my name up there too. I'm 478, I believe, 477. I just wish my niece had known about him before she decided to take a permanent solution to a temporary problem. But you'll notice there's a 2-bit axe up there. It's a blade on either side, a 2-bit axe with a paracord on the handle, and I burned some inscriptions in the handle. That I gave that to him. That axe is hanging up on his wall, beyond his right side, your left, as you're looking at it. That's my work. So I'm famous. Yeah, big shit. Anyway, we have about talked myself out of a things to say here today. Yep, 12th SFG, a airborne Emerald Cold Stacker. I don't know who you are, what your regular name is. Maybe you were in the 12th. I don't know. The 12th was disbanded in, I think, group finally went away in 1995. My company was deactivated in 1994. And the 12th and 11th and 12th groups were both given to the National Guard. That money, those personnel slots, because of the drawdown, the National Guard fucked us over. So I don't have any love for the National Guard. They can fucking kiss my ass. So the 19th and 20th got to stay. They got the slots. They got the money. Now, can you tell me why there are special forces units in the state National Guards? A special forces unit gathers intelligence. Why are there intelligence gathering assets in the state National Guard? I think that's about the time I started to realize that our government and our way of life is going away unless we stand up and say something, because we are becoming an autocracy. You have the illusion of electing your officials. You don't have a choice. You have the illusion of a choice. You don't have a choice. And we saw that in the last election with Joe Biden. He was inaugurated. He was appointed. There was no one that voted. The majority of people didn't vote for him. Sorry to say that. And if you disagree with me, fucking go someplace else. We got old fucking people that, and it's in your face. The graft, the criminality in the government is so blatant that you can follow a website that follows the trades that Congress people make, and you can follow and you can make the same trades and outperform the S&P 500 by 20-25%. Now, these guys are in Congress. They're on committees and subcommittees that are voting on laws to regulate these industries that they are investing in. That's called insider trading, insider information, insider trading. It's illegal as fuck. And what's the face? Her cook, that one chef got Martha Stewart got put away for what? How many years? Because she did the same thing. But Nancy Pelosi can get away with it, or Biden. He can twist the arm and say, you're not getting this many millions of dollars to a Ukrainian or to Ukrainian government unless they fire this prosecutor, and son of a bitch, they fired him. And then they got their money. That's fucking graft. That's coercion, graft. That's illegal as fuck. And they say it and they got it. They're putting it in your face and you're not doing a fucking thing about it. And fucking people all should be strung up by their fucking necks. Extreme chiropractic. Because that's fucking illegal as fuck. But yet it's in your face. You know they're doing it, but you ain't saying a fucking thing about it. And you assholes that sit there and defend Biden, defend Pelosi, defend Schumer, you're the problem. You are the problem. You're dumb fucks who haven't fucking read or researched anything. You do what you're told. You believe what you're told. You are the fucking problem. Get a life. All right, I'm done. Fuck it. You better live free or die.